In other words, are you saying that other agencies are a bit independent of the Export Promotion Council?
No, of course, they are independent. If they are doing programs, they can invite Export Promotion Council to come and make a presentation. But what I'm saying is that Export Promotion Council should be on the driving seat of any initiative or any activity. Work with other agencies, because that's they have the knowledge. They know what all the activities, they know what the challenges are. So if they could work together, an agency of government wants to do something that is related to export, all of us everyone understands the need for us to do something in exporting. All agencies and all Nigerians. Almost every local government in Nigeria has one thing that they can export. So it's sad. It's sad that we'll be sitting on the kind of resources that we are sitting. I think it was 2 weeks ago in the paper, the American president was saying something on Nigeria's resources.
That brings me to this report I heard over the radio about having a lot of natural resources untapped, especially in the northern parts of the country, though we have these resources in other parts apart from the north. But it seems we're not really doing much to bring these from the underground and try to process them and export.
Well, the reason is very obvious. The oil business is like you have a tap somewhere. You just turn it on, and then you put a bucket, and you have dollar flowing into it. Effortlessly, without any sweat. Generally people like to toe the line of least resistance, and that's what is happening to us. People do not want to soil their fingers, but they want to eat. So I think the dependence on oil for the period we have done that has affected our psyche and our mindset. We do not think long term any longer. We've gotten to a stage where long term to an average Nigerian is 90 days. Once it's more than 90 days, you are talking it's like eternity. So, but unfortunately, in non-oil export, it's a different ballgame altogether. It's like farming. You till the ground, you plant, you water, you weed, and then you harvest. There is no elevator to success as far as that is concerned. It has a language, you must speak the language. It has processes, you must follow it. And we're not too good at that. So I think this is practical. This is just the reason why we do not have we lack the capacity at the moment to exploit all the things that we have. If I start mentioning some unconventional things, let me give you an example. There was an order, coconut shell, the one you break and then we eat the pulp. That very particular shell, there was an order for the ashes.
Which Nigeria produces? Of
course, Lagos State is the largest producer of coconut in Africa. This state alone. So then you have palm fronds dried, all manner there. So I think, I don't know. I really don't know what we need to do.
Are you of the view that our economy may be at a risk if we do not? While we have the oil tap still running and we have dollars flowing into the buckets, are we at risk of having to lose so much billions every year owing to the fact that we do not pay attention to the non-oil sector because of the huge resources, huge potentials that are in it?
For the risk is very high. The risk is very high because the oil we are talking about, we don't have control over it. We might just sit down and be talking about millions and millions and billions of barrels that can still last 20 years. What if we wake up one morning and it's dry? And it's a possibility. I wrote an article some time ago and I said, this oil has killed us, in quotes. It's not that it has killed us, it is funding us. But the fact is that we need to prepare for the rainy day. We need to use resources from the oil sector to develop the non-oil sector. Because that is where to be. Again, if we're talking about non-oil export sector, we also need to look at services. Because that's the direction the world is going. International Trade Center said that by 2050, 80% of people working around the world will be working in the services sector. Because
there's a gap. There's actually a gap.
The world economy is now regarded as
providing extension services.
That's right.
For especially in the agriculture sector, for instance.
That's right. And even the direct services export itself, consultancy, and the whole lot of area. I did in 2006. I did a survey for a UN agency on the services capacity, export capacity of Nigeria, and it was amazing. it was amazing. The only challenge is that we don't have a way of capturing the services export. So if we're talking about it, it's as if it doesn't exist at all. So it's a mindset thing. We have people who are graduating and coming out from school. I'm hoping that the agri minister, that they are going to do something, even if from youth service level. Can we have community farms and the rest of them where we put people? Because most of our commodities, the production capacity has been stagnant over a period of time. But for most of those commodities also, there are gaps in the export market to be exploited, which means that if you expand your capacity, it's not as if you're going to be stuck with those very particular products. So it's we need to change our mindset. We need to know that we do not have capacity to retain the oil, the quantity of oil we believe is there.
And even dictate the price.
Yeah, of course, that's another issue altogether. And then we can add fertilizer to increase the quantity of oil, as it were. So I think the non-oil sector, I was telling someone, I said, if we do nothing, we'll answer when God sees us. What have we done with the resources that are there?
Let's do some projections. I actually have a number here that I'd like you to attest to. There was a projection done, I think last month, that Nigeria may realize $2 billion from the non-oil sector before the end of this year. Do you think we would get that?
Even if we do, what percentage of that is it to the total foreign exchange requirement of the country?
Are you saying that we are able to achieve this figure?
It is possible. It is possible. It depends on who is saying that anyway. If it's people who are in a position, because the Export Promotion Council, for example, they have statistics of what this is easy because those things go through the port. But particularly if they are going out legally, it means the statistics is there. So if this projection is coming from the government agency that is responsible, yes, it's achievable. But I'm saying that let us not celebrate that we can do much better than that. That's my point.
So what do you think your projection will be?
I will find it difficult to project because of non-availability of numbers and statistics. I am not interested in figures right now. I think that, look, banana and plantain, our neighbors in Cameroon are exporting.
We've seen improved exports
probably the
of
largest.
cassava. I think Nigeria has been able to do some pretty good exports.
How much
cassava.
export? How much export? It's not much. It's really not much. Considering the fact that you are the largest producer in the world, you can't match Thailand. You cannot. Yes, we had a time that everybody started shouting cassava. Of course, people went to the farm. We got the right variety of product. But eventually, when the people were ready, they had cassava ready to be harvested, but there were no processing facilities all over the place. So this whole thing, that's why I said, people don't just wake up from a bad dream and then, look, we need to plan. We need to plan. Cassava export, if it works in this country, can take so many youths off the street. Because it's a chain, it's a long chain. Let's come to the peeling of cassava. You don't use machine to peel cassava. It's done manually. The reason is that if you use a machine, because of the straight cutting, you lose the pulp. So we need to plan. If we can say, okay, this year we are facing this product, and we do all the things that are necessary across the value chain, then at every point in the value chain, more people will be employed, productivity will increase, then the end, which is the foreign exchange, will generate a lot more. So I don't know how we're going to do it, but let us stop just talking generally, non-oil export. Let the government, people in government, the agencies of government say, we want to face this product, and then we'll take it as a project. Within
a particular period of time.
Exactly. Because what they did in some countries was say, okay, we should declare a non-oil export decade, so that you know that within these 10 years, you are going to pump in so much of what you are earning from your oil into the non-oil sector for a better tomorrow. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. The absence of disease is not an evidence of good health. So the fact that we are still managing doesn't mean that we can't do better than we're doing.